Hey everyone, so I wanted to share my bachelor trip with you guys. So this is the third day of the trip. The first day we all got to Phoenix. After that, the second day we all hiked Camelback Mountain, got back to the Airbnb, drove up 4 hours to the Grand Canyon. We went to see Mather's Point and went out to eat. And now we're cleaning up and leaving from the Airbnb. And these are the guys. My co for today. So I rented that van. It was a 9-passenger van, super tall. And at the end of the trip, I couldn't get into a car wash when we were trying to return it. Yeah, from here we went to the gift shop and walked around. It was pretty cool. And we took the bus to the South Rim Trail. There's a few different points. We made it to the second one. Overall, I think we did like 4 miles, like 2 miles down, 2 miles up, give or take. And then, yeah, it was a blast going down here. But I guess one of the cool things about this trip was, I feel like to me, it ended up being something where I went to the Grand Canyon last year with my wife, and I thought it was such an amazing experience. Something that at first I didn't get when people said, it's one of those natural wonders of the world. And then when I went and I saw it, I finally got what people meant by that. And I had a blast. Like, every point that you stop in is breathtaking. And, I come from the Pacific Northwest, so I'm used to seeing mountains and, cool scenery.
You want the steak, Alex?
But just this canyon and the views were breathtaking. So I'm glad that I was able to do something like this with my best friends. I went with my wife, who's my best friend. So going with my guy best friends was also cool. And yeah, really the goal for me with this trip was to give my friends something that, they don't all do. Like, they're not all big about hiking, but it was cool that they were all willing to take time away from their busy schedules, their families, and, come and hang out with me for almost a week and do all these hikes. And the majority of the trip was very much on the go. Like, we were waking up at like 5-6 a.m., going on hikes, traveling. So it was a very fast-paced trip. Something about when we were doing this hike specifically with the Grand Canyon is it was snowing. So I remember that I kept telling everyone, you're gonna be hot as you're going back up, and we pick up on, and as we move through the trails, you start warming up. And yeah, I did most of it in shorts. After I got warm, I took off some sweats, and I didn't expect it to be snowing in April, but yeah, as you can see, there was snow around. But one of my favorite parts about the whole trip was that we saw horses. I saw this the last time I came here, and I kept telling them, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna see it, but it was like my favorite thing. And I'm just so thankful that we saw the horses. To me, it felt like that cowboy ranger moment that you see in old Western movies. So after the hike, we drove down to Sedona. Jose was riding as co, and that was just me recording everyone because it was funny. I don't know. Personally, I think Sedona is a really cool place to be at. It reminds me a lot of my hometown because there's mountains all around you, but there's a ton of mini hikes there. So that's one of the reasons I was so interested in going. But really, this place just gave us a chance to walk around some more, check out a new place, and then go eat because we were all starving. And the food was delicious. I don't remember the exact name of the place, but it was random because we were trying to just find somewhere to eat, right? But I think at the time we had a pretty big group, and everything was closing up because it was pretty late. So we just went, got a good meal, and then woke up early and went to hike my favorite hike at Sedona, which is Cathedral Rock, which I love because it has a lot of viewpoints, and as you keep going up, you just there's a lot of checkpoints where you can just look around and you're like, wow, like this is pretty, and it gets prettier and prettier as you go up. I feel like this one has a lot of different elements when it comes to hiking. There's some parts where you're climbing, like actually climbing. Others where you really need to jump over stuff, and it's steep. And personally, I like hikes that are upwards. I don't really like the canyons as much because you can keep going on a canyon, but then when you get tired and you're like, all right, time to turn around, it's like dang, now you got to do everything, but it's harder. At least when you're going up a hike, you're doing the hard part first. You get a beautiful, some beautiful scenery at the end, and then going back down isn't so bad. But yeah, that was Cathedral. So I do want to take a moment and say thank you to my friends and brothers, because we are all, we all have our own lives, but as you get older, there's less and less points where you get to meet up without an event or something. And although I know we wouldn't trade where we're at in the world, sometimes it's just nice to be together and feel like we're kids again, And this was just one of those experiences where we were able to hang out another time. And I'm just so proud of my friends and brothers, because we've all shaped each other to become these decent human beings, in my opinion. And I really live by something my mom taught me, and it goes, dime quién son tus amigos y te diré quién eres. And it's like, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And my friends and I will check each other if we're not doing something right. If we see something's going, if we're not treating people right, or we're moving in a weird, bad way, we'll check each other. And I don't think
Bachelor.
enough people do that. And that's how I know I have a group of friends that, they're brothers. My brothers are here, but like I have my blood brothers, but then I have my brothers that I chose. Like these are all my brothers, and we've all been there for each other in some way or another. So I'm just so thankful. And after we went to get some amazing donuts at Sedonuts, and I thought that was hilarious. The donuts were extremely well made. Everything tasted amazing. And then we found a card show, which was hilarious because it was random. I guess it's one of the biggest card shows in Phoenix. We drove down to Phoenix after the donuts. And for me, it was cool because when I was younger, I always wanted to collect Pokemon cards. Growing up, that was the first game I got on my Game Boy. But collecting cards is kind of expensive, so it wasn't something that I really did much. So here, I bought everyone a pack of 151. We all opened it up, and then some of us stayed. Others went to the outlets.
Is this what you want, Caesar?
That's like I got one, bro. That's all you.
Hey, go sell it. Let's get another pack. Let's get another pack.
Damn.
Hey, let's do it again.
Oh,
From there, we ended up going to go get some amazing tacos. The taco place was called Ta Carbon, which I thought was hilarious because that saying, "Está cabrón." And after that, we finished off the trip by going go-karting. And then we had people go that day or, the next day. Overall, amazing trip, 10 out of 10. I recorded this trip because I wanted to look back one day and say, that was a great trip. I don't want to forget them. Sometimes these great experiences go lost because we don't remember them correctly, or, we forget about them. So yeah, I had a great time recording this. And also thank you to my brother for recording and taking pictures. If you made it to the end, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.
Si era suerte o si era fe, brillando con las luces.